All right. You guys should be able to hear me, should be able to see me. Ticanyes. All right. DDH3, my man. Welcome to the party, brother. We'll wait a minute, let everyone file in. Just please give me the green light that you guys can hear me because I should be good to go. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, brother. We're just going to wait another minute, let them file in. And like we always do, we give them 5 minute grace period. So there's 1 minute to go. Bats are back, baby. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And it's been good so far. Currently number one in profit in baseball overall. And welcome, Joseph. Let's just wait for everyone to pile in. Starting to fill up the room. That's what we want to see. We're going to cover everything today. We're going to cover everything. Huge, 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 huge weekend ahead. So I'm excited for what we got. All right, baby. I'm just going to check the accounts real quickly so we can be ready to go. Combing through, just getting the latest action, boys. Settle in, settle in. We're going to have a good time. All right. A lot of baseball action. We're going to go through these games because I got a lot for you. And last but not least, and then we are good to go. All right. Let's get right to action, okay? We don't have time to waste. So I need you to pull up your college baseball. You know how we do it. College baseball. First, let's get this out of the way. Let's get a tennis bet out of the way, okay? Let's go tennis. Let's go tennis. Women's tennis, okay? Let's go to women's tennis, baby. Let me pull up my tennis for you. We got live bets we're making right now. Hold on. This is for tomorrow. Tomorrow. All right. It's the qualifiers, WTA qualifiers for tomorrow. Some of your outs may not have this up yet, but we are looking for Ella, Ella, Seidel, Cesei, forgive me, Del, Ella Seidel, Seidel, and she's playing Janina Wickmeyer. So we're going with Ella Seidel over Janina Wickmeyer. And we're laying up the minus 250 on that and also minus 1.5. So let me send that out. All right, I'm going to have to create this one because not in the system, not in the system. So don't worry, you're going to get the college baseball next. But let me get this tennis out there because this is a good play. $240s readily available, readily available. And we're going Ella Seidel versus Wickmeyer. Wickmeyer. Wickmayer. And I went 2% on Sedell at minus 240, good to minus 250, which again is qualifiers, women qualifiers. Stuttgart Open. It's the Stuttgart Open, Germany. And then I got another surprise for you. We got a 2% there. And that goes off at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. All right. 275 best. Here's what you're going to, don't worry, Neds. I got you covered, my boy. I got you covered. Because what else we're going to do, brother, is we're going to better again. But this time, we're going to lay the minus 1.5. We're going to lay the minus 1.5, okay? 1.5 sets. Now, we got plus 105, but I'm good to minus 105. So I'll even send it out at minus 105. That's how fair I am. But I'm going to send it out at minus 105. Also for 2%, 2%. And we are doing the same thing. Ella Sedell versus Wickmeyer. Stuttgart Open. I'll make it 110, good to 110. Why not? These have been fire for us. Just wanted to use that in a sentence real fast. All right, Stuttgart Open qualifier. There we go. 3 a.m. 3 a.m. So when you wake up tomorrow, hopefully your account's a little bit fatter than it is when you go to bed. That's the best feeling in the world, ain't it? All right, now she's out there. She's out there. We got that done. We got that done. So now here's what we're going to do. We're going to move to college baseball. This has helped us get the #1 in baseball profit already. And we're going to keep killing these. Wait till the AAA shit starts coming in. Wait till the AAA stuff. We're just warming up. We are just warming up. All right, so here's what we want to do. Pull up your college baseball with me, baby. College baseball, college baseball. All right. This is 6 p.m. Eastern. 6 p.m. Eastern. All right. We're going to look for Clemson. First, let's take Clemson at minus 1.5. Clemson, minus 1.5. Let's get on there. We're going to lay the 1.5 with Clemson. Indeed, here's what I recommend, that you find some more outs, and especially like paperheads, credit shops, because right now I have two different shops that I could take Ella Sedell at minus 243, one at 243, one at 240. And I could get not plus, but I could get even money on minus 1.5 sets easily. Clemson, minus 1.5, minus 175 is available everywhere I'm looking. Everywhere I'm looking. But again, that's the job. The job is to get outs. The job is to get outs. That's what we do. We look to get outs, because that's the hardest part, is getting down. When you got good stuff, that's going to be the difficulty. There you go. My man says you got 10 outs, minus 1.5, minus 165. Fire, bro. Fire. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? We're good to minus 175. Ned's got, there you go. You got 10 cents better than my group's willing to take. My instant messaging says, Ace, I'll take up to minus 175. You got 165. No reason to wait. No delays, Ned. No delays. That 65 is not going to be there forever. That's what I like to see, my man. That's what I like to see. Oh, if you got 165 on Sedell, you need more outs. You definitely need more outs, because this just came in like, yeah, 8 minutes ago. 8 minutes. And I've been talking for at least 10 of them. So at least the last 3-4 minutes I've spent on that. But yeah, that's the difficult part. Is, and again, you got to, that when it comes to outs, make sure you have different kind of outs. Like having all on-screen outs, they're all going to have the same line. But if you have paperhead credit shops, which is what we work with, there's absolutely no reason at all. Like I'm looking at Clemson. Especially with the leeway that I give them. I mean, that's, and believe me when I tell you, I get this shit so early. And I even send it out. To be fair, I'll send it out at minus 175. Even right now, I could hit 165. I could bet actually 164 is what he has. But that is definitely the most important thing. Give me a second. I'll give you another one. I mean, shit, Clemson's minus 1.5 is probably good to minus 200. Because I see my sharpest out, which obviously I wouldn't bet through. He's got the money line at minus 310. So yeah, I'll tell them they bet this up to 190. Yeah, they could bet this one up to 190. When my sharp out has that kind of number on there, he got hit with it. That's why you got to keep a sharp book to compare your numbers to. You got to keep a sharp book. Don't worry, we're going to go over all this. It's just they just came in right now, so got to give them out. All right, now we got a total for you as well. I got a total for you. Okay. College baseball. Ooh, there's a big board today. We're going to be busy. All right. We're looking for California versus Georgia Tech. This one should be easy. If you can't get this, you got to find more outs. We're willing to go under 13.5, all the way up to minus 135. Or under 13, minus 110. You got to be able to get that. You got to. Please tell me you guys are getting that. I'm giving you gold here. I'm giving you, this is, you know how many few people in the world, this isn't a brag, have access to this kind of shit. My man Connor got under 13 and a half and minus 108. That's how early you're getting it. Connor, I could go out there, smoke a cigarette, even though I don't smoke, come back in here and then bet this shit and still find it. I promise you. And again, this ain't a brag, but I'm so high up on the totem pole because of the accounts that I provide that I'm getting this shit so early because of the money that I could get them down. Like, we're in a very good spot, which is why, again, number one right now in baseball. And I told you what was going to happen. Again, this isn't a brag, but I explained what was going to happen. We had our first losing year in baseball since 2020. That's as big of an outlier as you're going to get. And I knew, and again, that things could change, but I feel so confident nothing's going to change. Nothing's changing. That we're going to continue to crush baseball. I'm telling you that right now. We're going to continue crushing baseball. This is going to be just like those every year where we come in and we look for a shitload of profit over the summer and we have fat pockets for baseball. Hold on, I just got to get this out to subscribers. This is the part that takes long, and usually I got my girl doing this, but she had to go to a doctor's appointment. So I got to do this myself. I'm even letting them know you could go under 13 even, minus 110. These are gold, baby. Oh, we're about to do damage today. You just know this weekend's going to be huge. You could just tell. Pay-per-view UFC. We're going to go over that. Don't you worry about that. You know what? I'm going to give this baseball out for free. I feel generous today. My man's got under 14 and a half. Go, Ned. Go, Ned. That's my man. We're giving this one for free. Let's get everybody invited to the Georgia Tech party. Hopefully it stays under for us. Can't be greedy. Everybody's got to eat. Everyone's got to eat. Yes, Dustin, the Blackjack course is going on. Let me talk about the Blackjack course really quick because obviously over the last 7 days, we've done damage. We were able to, yes, under 14 and a half at minus 130 is better than the 13 and a half, better than the 13 and a half at minus 108, minus 110. Take the 14 and a half. Listen, we know how we did the last 7 days. We had the national championship. We had 15 units pending on Houston. And obviously, I was going to hedge that because I didn't like Houston. In fact, I was going to send out a 5% play on Florida, okay? I like Florida. Usually, if I like the future, not only do I let it ride, but any subscriber that's been with me is going to tell you, I've bet more on top of it, where I've had a future for the series or a future to win, a title game. And then that night, I bet more on top of them because I feel we're getting the best of it. So not only do I have this great future bet with a ton of equity, but I think I got the best of it tonight. So I got to put that future away and bet it. I manage risk correctly, so I'm not worried about that shit. I'm going to bet the right way. But Monday morning, after doing the work, I said Florida should be about a 2.5 at least favorite over Houston. I liked how it sets up because I thought Houston played their best game. Houston played their very best game on to get there. I got to let them know. They want to know how much I got them down. Sorry. I got to do this because some things we don't put on instant messaging. We use Telegram for this shit. My man, John, doing some damage as well. Attaboy, John. Attaboy. With that nice, what's it? Oh, let me see that. I might even have to put the black glasses on. We're getting old. Frantantoni. That's a nice Italian. I was gonna say a nice Irish name. That's what we used to say back in South Philly when you get that perfect Italian last name. That's a good Irish name, my man. That's Italian. If you don't have Sunday gravy, nobody does. That's all I know. If John Frantantoni doesn't have that Sunday gravy every week, nobody does. So real quickly, I liked Florida. I was like, Florida's the side. So what do? Let's make some money with it. Ace, you know the job. Put out a 5%. Let's put out a 5% on Florida. As I'm creating the package, I tell myself, you can't do this. Bro, it's not the right thing. You can't do it because Florida's probably going to win this game, okay? But I'm not always, I'm wrong plenty. I'm just right more than I'm wrong at minus 110. So I said, you can't do this. Here's why. Because if Florida loses and Houston wins, okay, I lose that 5%, but I'm going to pick up 15% on my future. So I'm going to be happy. My long-term subscribers are going to be happy. But the people that bought a 5% play, which is supposed to be my strongest on the night of the game, they lost. So we're going to still be happy. We're up money, but these people paid me and they're going to be sad. Can't have it. Can't have it. You got to believe in karma, especially when you're a sports bettor. You can't do that shit. Bad things happen. So unfortunately for me, I wasn't able to sell a 5% that was a winner because I just thought it wasn't right. You know what I mean? You can't do that shit. You definitely can't do that. That's not the right thing. Like, I can't put myself in a position where even if I lose, I make money and I don't give a shit. But these people that, you know, are trusting me to put their hard-earned money on my strongest, obviously, opinion are going to lose. So if we don't win together, that ain't happening. So that's the only reason. And the way I sent it out, you could say as subscribers, I sent out a 4% play and then a 3% because I wanted to hedge it right down the middle. Like usually I won't hedge half the equity, but I said, no. I got to hedge half this equity because I really like Florida. So we did the right thing. So we don't have to go over that. We're up a little bit for the year. That's no surprise, but we're not here to celebrate through one quarter because we've all seen Google. We've seen Amazon. We've seen Tesla. They have good quarters. They have bad quarters. What matters is what are you going to do long term? And as I said on January 1st, all eyes on me. I have one goal only, that when December 31st comes around, we're in that 0.5%. That's it, a 0.5% of the planet that's going to say they made money betting sports the last 365 days, because that's what I could promise you. I know on gambling Twitter, and I don't get on that shit. I'm a little bit older, so I don't do the social media nonsense. You know, my girl puts that stuff out for me and shit like that here and there, but I don't do that. But what I do see is all nonsense. How everybody wins. Here's what I can tell you. Here are the facts. Here are the bottom line. It used to be you get 100 sports bettors in a room, one of them's profitable. Only one of them has positive lifetime earnings where they could say with proof, yes, they are up betting sports in their lifetime. Okay? Now, you need 200 people in the room, 200 sports bettors in the room for one of them to say they're up money lifetime betting sports. Why? Because sports betting is now so huge, it's legal in almost every state. Everybody's doing it, that you have even more losers than before. And the reason is all the misconceptions out there. Thank God. Like, I got introduced with all the nonsense where guys would put out an ad in the sports page and tell you to call their phone number on Monday night and they're going to give you a lock. They had a 1-800 number. You call it. Here's what they did. They picked up this phone and gave me team A. Then they picked up this phone and gave the other guy team B. Team A, team B, team A, team B. Half of us are calling him back the next morning thinking he's the fucking man. The other half of us, they're going to call us and say, dude, I know that one lost, but if I upgrade you to my premium platinum package, they actually went 3-0 on their props. Or on we hit the total. That was the 50-star fucking lock. That's what they say, okay? That's the nonsense. I broke into sports betting thinking. I broke into sports betting thinking that you could hit 70, 80% with that nonsense because that was the advertisement, okay? That was bad enough, having unrealistic expectations and a guy telling me, put everything you have on it. There was never, nobody ever talked money management back then because nobody won. Everyone that sold picks, 30 years ago, those guys didn't win. The guys that were winning back then, they were doing it in secret. In fact, bookmakers back then thought nobody won. When I broke into the game as a runner moving steam, every bookmaker was under the impression nobody wins. I had guys reading me off newspaper lines, like the lines from the freaking newspaper on Saturday morning. He would read off the whole college football, college basketball lines and not even change them. Like the line could adjust 3 points. My man had no idea. He wasn't paying for no line service from Las Vegas in 1985, 1990, 1995. They weren't paying for that shit because they were under the impression everyone lost. The Billy Walters of the world, the Animals of the world, they were hidden. Now we hear those names and we know, the damage they did back 30 years ago and all that shit. But back then, no one bragged about winning. The winners kept it silent. So the people selling picks, that was all the shit, it was all nonsense, all bullshit. Dude, I'm seeing even worse now. I see actual people that are so-called influencers that are promoting fucking same game parlays. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're even promoting the foolish parlays. What are you doing? You already know they're negative EV. Unless you have an algorithm or developed some code that's going to give you an edge based on the odds they're given on that parlay card. Kind of like when Delaware Park opened and they put out parlay cards and they didn't change the odds because, again, they were under the impression, this is 10 years ago I'm talking about, where they were under the impression nobody's going to really beat us long term, so it don't matter. They brought out the cards on Monday. I sent money back east, and I had to go down there every weekend and put 3-teamer parlays in. And we made a lot of money. Most weeks you lose, but the one week you catch them, you crush them. Anyway, so unless you find a spot like that, unless you find a mistake being made like that, kind of like soccer parlays, where if you have any book that lets you bet tie and under, we'll bury them. They don't allow that. Just try to parlay soccer and try to parlay the tie with the under and see what it says. It will not accept it. Why? Because they found out it's beatable. Guys like us crush them with those kind of bets for a long time. So anyway, what I'm getting at is, when I see influencers, so-called sports betting influencers, promoting the most negative EV shit, like these kids, no wonder it's only now 1 out of 200. In another 5 years, it's going to be 1 out of every 300 or 1 out of every 400. It's going to be 0.25, not even 0.50. It used to be 1%. Now we're down to 0.5%. In another couple of years, we're going to be at 0.25% because every young kid that comes in underfunded is going to be chasing a $100,000 bankroll, a $100,000 win, with his $50, $100, $200. And again, if you can't make money with 1,000, you can't make money with 100,000. Trust me, I was there where I kept telling myself, as soon as I get 10 grand, when I came out here with $600. I said, as soon as I get the 10 grand, I'm going to bet the right way. And back then I thought betting the right way was a nickel. I'm going to follow the wisest wise guy at the Stardust. There was one guy, Fat Mike. He sat in the very front row. He moved for the best groups back then. He got the limit, and as soon as Fat Mike walked to the window, you'd hear, game 3's 57, Pittsburgh now 7.5. So you knew Fat Mike bet Pittsburgh at -6.5. Anyway, you could make a living just walking up and betting what Fat Mike bet after he bet it even. That's how good they were. You could even take the second number and you'd still make a lot of money. And I kept telling myself, as soon as I get the 10 dimes or 20 dimes, I'm going to do this the right way. I'm going to stop playing parlays. I'm going to bet size correctly. That was all bullshit. Because if you can't do it right with $1,000, you ain't doing it right with $10,000, $100,000, $1 million. That's the bottom line. I'll say it again. If you look at the guys in poker that are now famous and playing the big cash games, unless they inherited the money, all of them were grinders at small stakes. When I came out here to Las Vegas, the Mirage was the center of the universe for poker, just like the Stardust was the center of the universe for sports betting. And you saw the Daniel Negreanos playing 1-3 hold'em, 1-5 stud. That's what you saw, writing for Card Player Magazine. You know what I mean? To get $25 an article and shit like that. That's how they made it. And it's the same thing with sports betting. So we're off on all kind of tangents. Let's get organized because we got a lot of things to get to. But I want to answer Jake's question again. My man says, Minus 400 is positive EV. If you think the bet hits 80%, I'll bet that all day. You need a little better than, you got to get to like 83, 85%, because break even's 80. At minus 400, your break even's 80%. So you'll break even if it wins 80% of the time. We need it to win 83%, 85%. Then we get to the window and we bet it all day, brother. You made exactly what you said. It's like flipping a coin flip, and I give you plus 101. You just give me even money. You should want to flip that coin with me all day long. After 10 flips, you may be down. After 20 flips, you still may be down. But as long as you're getting plus 101 while I'm only getting even money, that penny's going to start to add up. And after 500 rolls, 1,000 rolls, there's zero chance I'm going to be up on you. Zero. The law of big numbers come to grips. That's why I love baseball so much, because it's the one sport where not only you don't even have to handicap it. I talked about it this morning, WagerTalk today. Go watch it on YouTube. But go down there first. Smash that like button, please. I don't ask for anything. Don't ask for your money. I ain't telling you to go sign up for my shit. Most of you shouldn't. Most shouldn't pay for information unless you're ready to use it as an investment vehicle. You should do it for entertainment, like anything else. You like shooting pool. You like going to strip clubs. You like going to nightclubs. That's going to cost you money, right? That's entertainment. Sometimes you score. You take a hot broad home. But sports betting, the same thing. Do it for entertainment. You'll never lose more than you could afford. You'll never lose sleep over it. You'll be able to save money and hopefully invest it the right way. You may even build a bankroll, learn a lot, and do some damage. And you may score and bring a broad home too when you hit a parlay. You know what I mean? So there's a no-loss situation sometimes. Good question, City. Good question. How much of my game is nowadays focused on live betting? I'm going to be honest with you. I keep it real. Probably about 10%, 15 tops. I just don't have the time. Like, to live bet, you got to be glued to the screen. You got to be in there, ready to fire. And where I'm at now in my life, like if I was back like 15, 20 years ago, when I was still building my bankroll and I was still like, down on the food chain as far as getting steam and moving it and getting a cut, like I would have been live betting the shit out of it because I had such good information in front of me that I would set up a lot of middles. I'd set up a lot of scalps. Like, I would be grinding away. I would be doing that all day. Like I did when I first came. When I came here, bro, I'll tell you this, I promise you, I was at the Stardust front and center by 6 a.m., never later than 6 a.m. Usually I'd walk in there by 5:30, 5:45. In fact, I had a street person that used to sleep in the Stardust Sportsbook, and everybody liked him, really nice guy. So they even let him sleep there, he would put a reserve on the seat that I like to sit in. It was second row right behind Fat Mike. And my man, every morning I would get him breakfast. So he would make sure my seat had sheets ready, and he would write reserve on one of them. And every morning I bought my guy breakfast. Every morning he knew he'd get a good meal every morning. So, hey, trust me, I've been here a long time, brother. And that's with live betting. That's what I would be doing for sure, because there's a lot of opportunities. Now the VIG's a little higher, just like props. The market's more inefficient, but the VIG's a little higher. So that brings up the straddle a little higher of what you have to, the winning percentage. You need to be profitable. That's why even with props, I'm very selective, because I know my win percentage has to be higher if I'm laying 130s. You know what I mean? 55% doesn't do it anymore. So you need to be a little more selective with those. Oh, my man said it the best. Michael says, Ace, what do you do when you're on a big losing streak? Do you lower your bet amount? Here's what I do. I'll tell you the truth. Unless my starting bankroll has decreased by 50%, I do nothing. Because here's what I do. And I think I urge everyone to do this. And you don't have to wait till January 1st. You could start doing it the right way tomorrow. You could start tomorrow saying, forget it. Forget winning back all the losses. Okay. Forget about that. That's what I had to get over. Trying to win back all those losses. I said, fuck it. Let me cover up that hole and just forget about it. If I'm going to be betting the rest of my life, I can't spend the rest of my life chasing those losses. I have to put it behind me, consider it the price of my education. Listen, you want to be a good lawyer, you're going to go to a good university, then you're going to go another couple of years of law school, and you're going to come out with a shitload of debt unless you come from a rich family. Well, you want to be a winning sports bettor, same thing. You're going to come out with a shitload of debt. The only difference is it's the bookmakers. It's the money that we lost. Let's all be honest. That's the price of the education. And I could promise you, this is coming from someone that's got an Ivy League education. Forget Ivy League. I went to Oxford in England. That's the education that I got, the money I spent for mine. So let's forget about the losses, my man. Here's what you do, Michael. Here's what you do. The day you decide to use sports betting as an investment vehicle, you look at your bankroll, and if it's over $1,000, now if it's less than $1,000, you do one thing and one thing only. You bet 0.5%. If it's 1,000 or less, you bet 0.5%. Okay? Yeah, Josh, you could bet it now. That's how early I get this shit. We've been talking for 25 minutes and you could still get down. I get it early, bro. I told you, I get down a lot of money for these people. I get them down a lot of money. If someone wants to place a big bet, they know where to come. You got a good information on an obscure MMA fight like tonight. I have it in that package. It's a 4% MMA and PFL. We're going to get you down. We're going to get you down. So, and I love repeating myself like Jimmy two-time. It's just a habit. So here's what you do. If you have 1,000 or less, the day you decide you're going to use this as an investment vehicle, you start betting $5 a game. That's it. That's it. When you get it to 1,500, okay, and you've proven to yourself that now you're a winning sports bettor, you bump that shit up to $10 and you flat bet $10. You flat bet $10. When you get to over 2,000, okay, when you get to over 2,000, then you start unit sizing, meaning let's say you got 2,500 on your best bets, you bet $25. Everything else, you flat bet 15. That's it. You flat bet 15 across the board. That rare best bet, that 3, 4, 5 times a month, you go up to $25. And I know here's what the funny thing is. 99% of sports bettors on social media are going to say, dude, what are you going to make betting $5? What are you going to make betting $5? Well, what you're going to make is actually profit. Because you could go ahead and lose that 1,000, absolutely. Because if you have $1,000, you start betting $50 a game, I promise you, zero doubt, zero, none. I'm not even going to say there's a 1% chance. I'm going to tell you there's 0% chance your bookie's going to have your money. Your bookie will have your money, and there's nothing you could do about it. It's a mathematical certainty that if you're betting 5%, 10% of your bankroll per bet, you will go broke. You can't outrun that math. There's nothing you could do about it. I don't give a shit how good of a handicapper you are. You could tell me you are the best handicapper on the planet and you're still going broke. You tell me you're the sharpest guy on the planet, you're still going broke because the math's against you. That's not opinion. That's fact. That's math. That there's zero chance you're going to survive betting 5, 10% of your bankroll. So if you have $1,000 and you're betting $50, $100 a game, you're going broke. The only question that hasn't been decided is how long it's going to take. That's it. That's the mystery. The mystery isn't what's going to happen. That's been predetermined by your bet size. The math already figured that part out for you. That what isn't is how long is it going to take? Are you going to survive a month, a couple months, a year? That's it. You start betting that kind of percentage, I promise you. Listen, this is someone that's done nothing else his entire life as an adult. And to this day, I don't bet more than 1.25 of my bankroll. That's correct. So for every 10 grand, I bet $125 the most on a dog or to win 125 on a favorite. And that's why I've been able to survive losing streaks. And you don't lose sleep over losing streaks. And slowly but surely, here I am, 20 years later, still doing it. If you're going to be, unless you're betting for the next 5 days, that's it. A week, a month, then go off, go crazy, try to win, try to make a score. But if you're going to be betting next year, next 5 years, next 10 years, next 20 years, then what are you doing? Build it the right way. Build it. You can't run before you crawl. You can't even walk before you crawl. So what are you doing? What are you in a rush for? You're going to be betting the next 20 years. Why not do it the right way? Why put yourself behind the 8 ball? Why fight an uphill battle? Why make it easy on them? It's that simple. It's like I told my guys in Blackjack, 2 weeks ago, me and my girl, she gets comped at the Palms for us to have a couple days free, okay? So she's like, let's at least do a night there, okay? We go to do a night. I said, you know what? I don't want it to ruin our night, how I do at the blackjack table. So I'm going to play $25 table, I told her. To play a session, I need 100 units to be properly funded to play a blackjack session. If you took the course, you already know that. And next week, we're covering bet sizing and bankroll management and how much you need and what you could expect an hour and all of that. That's all the good stuff coming next week. But I need 100 units to have a session of blackjack. So I told her, grab $2,500, put it in your purse so we could play blackjack. We went, checked in, got to the room, got ready, went out, said, let's have some dinner first. Let's go have a nice dinner first. Amazing. There's a tasting menu. It's like 6 courses at Trevi. It's the Italian restaurant up above Ghost Bar. It's like 56 floors up. They have 2 restaurants, one in Philadelphia on Broad Street and one Vitri's here at the Palms. And they have a chef's menu that's amazing, amazing, amazing. So we had that. And then I said, let's go play blackjack. We walked through the casino floor. Every table, $10 table, $15 table, $25 table. Every single one has continuous shuffle. That's it. Not automatic shuffle, continuous shuffle, where when they wipe up the cards after the hand, they stuff them into that thing, and it just randomly spits out cards. So as an advantage player, you can't beat that game, all right? So I said, let's go look at high limit. Are they really doing that in high limit too? We walked in the high limit. No, they weren't. $100 minimum, very fair game. Deep. They give you a lot of the deck. They cut deep. Beautiful setup. You could do some damage there. And she's like, are you going to play? I said, what'd you bring? She said, 2,500, like you said. I said, I can't play. I'm underfunded. Like, I can't do it. I'm now gambling. I'm no longer playing from a position of strength. I am now giving up my edge because I'm underfunded. Like, I would need 10 dimes to go in there and know that I'm here to do damage. It doesn't mean I'm going to win. Like my guys that take blackjack understand. You're not going to win every session, but you're the favorite every session. As long as you pick the right games and you bet size correctly. There's nothing they could do. You're going to take their money. As long as you're efficient in the blueprint that I'm teaching them. And where I'm making sure, I don't care how many classes I have to do. Every single student's going to walk out of there competent that they're now the favorite. The only thing they're going to have to do is practice, so that they could do it under the casino setting. But I said, no man gets left behind. We're like the U.S. military. Anyone back there is going to get to the front because I'm going to take my time and teach everyone the right way. Because that was my dream after getting kicked out of every freaking major casino and not being allowed to play blackjack. My dream was to create an army of blackjack killers to go out there and just loot them all, just take their money. So thank God for WagerTalk and my girl for setting that up for me. And now I've been able to now teach in that class. I highly recommend it. Honestly, if you're going to be with me for a year anyway, you get that for free. And that's a skill set you will have the rest of your life. Like nobody could take that away from you. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you will be able to walk into a casino and be the favorite. Like if you don't have the bankroll today, a lot of you guys are young, you'll have the blueprint and it's not going to change. I play the same way today that I did 2010 when they were throwing me out of the places, when I was working with a team and traveling and actually making it my living. So believe me, it's a skill set nobody could take away from you. And as long as you're properly you'll have it written in a blueprint, what you have to do. And that's what I love the most, that I'm actually teaching these guys a skill set that they could actually use forever. They go on a cruise, they go on vacation. There happens to be a casino there that's pitching a fair game. They will be the favorite. So I highly recommend it. I really do. Again, I'm not trying to sell you on it, but when it comes to blackjack, forget about it. You're talking to a master, like a master chess player. You're talking to a master blackjack player that'll carve up any fair table you put me in front of. And there's absolutely nothing they can do about it but back me off. That's a good feeling to have. There's no better feeling knowing I'm coming from like a row house in South Philadelphia and then West Philadelphia and finally the suburbs. And here you are walking into MGM, billion-dollar corporation, publicly traded company. And all you have in your pocket is maybe 10 dimes. And they're saying, no, sir, you can't play. No, you can play any other game, but you can't play blackjack. Do you know how powerful of a feeling that is as a gambler for them to tell you, we acknowledge, sir, you are the favorite. We acknowledge, sir, that you have the edge. Dude, there's nothing better than that. I'll tell you, honestly. The first time I got kicked out, I was on cloud 9. I couldn't wait to tell all my friends. Now, I hate that. I hate it. That's why I'm teaching these guys how not to get kicked out. So anyway, enough about that. Remember how we bet size. Once you get to a point where you could differentiate between strength, we go 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1%, and 1.25, meaning I bet spread between 1x and 5x. That's it. So the rating at WagerTalk, 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%, that reflects strength of play. That's not a bet size recommendation, okay? That says the 1% is your weakest, the 5% is your strongest. That's all that reflects. The bet size we decide. Thank you, Robert. We decide the bet size, brother. All I'm doing, Robert, honestly, is trying to teach young and ambitious bettors that have the passion like I did, and new bettors, you don't have to be young, to avoid the pitfalls that I fell into. That's what I'm teaching you from. Every mistake you're going to make, I made. I promise you, more than once. Until I got to a point where my motto became correct, don't repeat. That's all I kept doing. I lost every possible way. That's what I'm trying to teach people. Off my mistakes, off, just like with blackjack, the stuff that I'm teaching them, how to use a water bottle to know how much of the deck is still left to play, how much of the shoe is still left to play. That stuff I learned while actually playing it, not stuff you read in a book, not bullshit that anybody could write and tell you, oh, this is the high-low system. There's a million freaking counting bullshit out there. Very few are going to teach you the secrets on how to actually do it and perform it in a casino. And this water bottle right here, if you took last week's class, you know how dangerous of a weapon this water bottle is. Any glassware, any water bottle is death to the casino, because it's going to let you know exactly how much of that deck is left to play. And you'll be able to convert your running count into true count instantaneously. And they don't know anything. They don't know the wiser. Where do I teach you guys how to count aces, side count aces? Forget, that's coming next week. Next week, you side count aces and you start learning how to bet. The first week, I made them break even players, and if they get comps. Otherwise, they're going to lose 30 to 50 cents on every 100. I got them to that level. By the second class, they were definitely at break even, nothing worse. Last week's class, they're now slowly becoming the favorite. They're about a minus 120, versus the house if they practice what I'm teaching them. By the end of 2 more sessions, we have a lot more coming, a handful coming, but by the end of the 5th, they are a minus 200. They are 2 out of 3 times. I have the confidence they are the favorite. By the time they get out of there, they're a minus freaking 5,000, where I know where they're going to be. Thank you, Dustin. So we're having a good week. We had the hedge. We're plus money. But only thing that matters is December 31st. If our goals are aligned, I will not disappoint you. I told you this year, it's all about winning. That's it. It's all about getting it done. So far, baseball has been there for us. We're going to go through the baseball right now. I'm going to let you know some of the stuff that I bet, some of the things that I like. And then I'm just looking if anything else came in before we get this baseball going. And please, I will answer your baseball questions. Let me know what games you want me to cover. And I'm going to tell you real quickly what I like. Oh boy, hold on. When you see the glasses go on, it's time to do damage. Can I get College baseball up, gentlemen. Can I get college baseball up, sir? We're about to make some money. Let's get your college bases up. Let's get those college baseballs up and running, okay? Can you locate Duke and Miami? Can you locate Duke versus Miami? Thank you. Now we are going to go over 13. Over 13 and a half. Forgive me, 13 and a half. Minus 125. We're good to minus 135. That's correct. Duke, Miami. Duke, Miami. We are good. We are good. So over 13 and a half, up to minus 135. Let's get that in there. Let's get that in there. Let me send that out too. I'll put it in between. I'll send it out at minus 130. I'm a fair guy. In this spot, so I'll teach you how to be a runner real quickly. Like if let's say I didn't get it fast enough, but like you still wanted to follow it. In this situation, we're going over, not under. Over 13 and a half. Okay. Here, let's say I'm a runner and I'm not as high on the totem pole. And I don't get it first. Let's say I get it towards the end of the list, right? Here's what we do. Here's what we got to do. I would even take over 14. And here's why. Because the worst I could do is push. If they win, I'm not doing anything worse than push. But let's say they were going over 14 and the best I could get is 14 and a half. You don't bet it because they could push and I could lose. You never want to be in that position where the play could push and you lose. It's okay to be in a position where they could win and you push because you don't lose any money, but you never, ever want to be in the position where you could lose and they push. Little trick from the trade for you. All right. All right. We got tennis. You ready for a tennis play? All right. We're going to the Barcelona Open. Barcelona Open, brother. Get that up there. We don't have all day. Let's go. Let's get that Barcelona Open in tennis. 3%. These are 3% plays. These are all 3% plays. This is a money line bet. You're getting live bets here. I'm giving them to you live as we're going, baby. Okay? And we are going to bet a Borna Coric. Coric. C-O-R-I-C. C-O-R-I-C. And we're going to lay minus 130. Minus 130. Now, this is good up until we laid minus 125. It's good to minus 140. But I'm going to be, I like to be as fair as possible. And Borna Coric. We're going Borna Coric. C-O-R-I-C verse Bellucci. Verse M. Bellucci. I know the Italians out there know how to spell that. I don't have to spell it to you. We got a lot of my good Italian friends out here. I know they already know how to spell Bellucci. So I don't need to spell that. That would be an embarrassment to you guys, right? Can't have that. We can't have it. 3%. So this is Barcelona Open. Make sure you take, if you're going to join me, make sure you take advantage of any special. I know when I run these things, Gianni sets out all kinds of specials. Make sure you do. Oh, and free month. You got to take advantage of this. I don't get anything out of this. I'm telling you now. But here's what I'm going to give you. Okay. This one's at 4:30 a.m. my time, 7:30 a.m. your time. on Saturday, okay? So you go to my Twitter right now. You're going to see a link for Odds Logic, okay? Get a free month of Odds Logic. Dude, when it comes to line services, that's the shit. I've found more gold that I can't even release to subscribers because I know they won't be able to get it, of seeing this player's out or this player's sitting in NBA, and I bet it right away and knowing it's going to move 3, 4, 5 points just because of that service. I'm telling you, go. If you're a serious bettor, you need it. But even if you're recreational, it's a free 30 days. You got nothing to lose. Like, yeah, there's no, you got to sign up. None of that. There's no obligations. None of that shit. I think it's a free week. I'm trying to give you guys more than they're even asked. It's a free week. It's good. 7 days. I'm trying to push a month. You know, I do what I can for you guys. I'm a man, the gambler of the people, the people's champ. They tell me a week. I give you guys a month. I try to give you a month. You know that. But I'm being corrected. I was being corrected on live on the thread. So thank you. Free week, Odds Logic. Just go oddslogic.com/ace. Oddslogic.com/ace. I promise you, if you're a profitable, like doing it as an investment vehicle, you'll see that it pays for itself. You will see that. Oh, this is beautiful. It's beautiful. Let's get to some baseball. I don't want to keep you guys here all day. And we got still UFC. Don't forget, NBA playoffs around the corner. You know we do damage there. We selective and drop 4 or 5 percenters. That's it. There's no 3% when it comes to the playoffs. But here's what we do. We got a nice 10-1 bet on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let me see what Cleveland is right now. Let's see what Cleveland is. They're still 5-1. You can still get plus 600. Good Lord. Here's why. They think they can't beat Boston. Oh, slow down. We get home court advantage. This is a team that only lost, 6 home games all year? I wouldn't be too sure that Boston. Now, Oklahoma City is going to be a problem. OKC will be a problem if we get to the finals and they get to the finals. But by that time, baby, if we get past Boston, we'll be able to hedge that because they won't be that big of a dog. If they're able to beat Boston, forget about it. They will not be that big of a dog. Ned, we laid, let me confirm that for you, brother. I laid 130 on Cork, good to minus 140, maybe 145 even. And we went over 13 and a half in the bases. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, Jack. That's exactly what I'm hoping for, brother, that they get knocked out before the finals. I love it. That's what I'm hoping for too, sir. That's exactly what I'm hoping for. That OKC runs into a wall before we have an easy. All we have to do is beat Boston. Cleveland has one job: beat Boston in a 7-game series with home court advantage. You're going to give me 10-1 on that? I'm going to take it all day. They had the best record in basketball, and they were still 10-1 past the All-Star break. What are you kidding? How could I not take that? Are you nuts? You got to take that bet. You have one team in front of you. That's it. All right, let's get the bases. I'll tell you what I like. I'll tell you what I bet even. How's that? All right, let's just go through the screen real fast. Let's go through this baseball screen. Here's what you want to look for. I'm going to give you a little see. I talked about on WagerTalk today. You got to watch that. I go on first every morning, 9 a.m., 12 p.m. Eastern. I share gold as much as I have early in the morning. Most of my premiums come off that sheet, and then the other stuff come in too. But a lot of that is early and stuff we did the night before. Here's what we're looking for. Here's what we're doing in baseball right now. Okay, we are looking for those teams that are going to regress or progress towards the mean. Now, in football, you don't have enough time. A team comes out, they're 11-1, when on paper they should only be about a 9-win team. A lot of times the season ain't long enough. You can't regress. In baseball, though, you have time to regress. You play 162 games. And here's what I'm telling you. There's only one team. Remember, mark my words. There's only one team in this entire baseball standings that's going to win 60% of their games. That's it. That's the Dodgers. Okay. No other team's going to win 60%. The winner of the division, of every division, is going to win between 57 and 59% of their games, 56 and 59. Okay. Nobody is winning more than one team. That's it. Every year it's like one team. This year it's going to be the Dodgers. Okay. No other team's going to win 60% of their games. So you look at these teams right now that have come out of the gate and they've won 70%, 80%, 90%. They're regressing. There's nothing they can do about it. They're going to regress towards the mean. Now, it doesn't matter. It's going to happen next day, next week, or even in the next month, but it's going to in a decent time. And you have enough time in baseball for that to happen. So you have to pick your spots and don't be afraid to fade those teams that look dominant because they will not win over 60% of their games. Just like the teams that are at the basement, they're not going to lose 80% of their games. When the season's over, they'll be about 35%. The difference between first place and third place is usually less than 5% difference. Like the first place team won 58% of their games. The fourth place team won about 53. And then the bottom dwellers in the 40s. You know what I mean? There's one or two like Miami's of last year that are around that 35%. There's always those bottom dwellers that are about 35%. But nobody is only going to win 20, 25% of their games, just like nobody's going to win 65, 70% of their games. You know that going in. You don't need to handicap shit. You already know that. More importantly, the teams that are doing awful, they're going to be given at a huge discount. The teams that are crushing, they're going to be a premium added to them. So you now have the perfect storm. You have line value assured because of the premium or the discount, and you have regression or progression guaranteed because the season's long enough. Dude, you don't have to do any other handicapping. That's it. You could find value just doing that. Now, if you have time and you add to that and you look at how they do in their splits, righty versus lefty, the bullpen, is it rested, is it not? Home versus away, all that shit. Dude, that's why if there's any sport you want to bet, it's baseball. If you ask any wise guy, any betting syndicate out there, if they were told they could only bet one sport for the remainder of their lives, every single one of them would say baseball. At least 9 out of 10. Maybe one that's a specialist will say tennis, another guy NASCAR, another guy golf, because they're specialists. But as a whole, those that bet every market, every single one of them saying baseball. Every single one of them. All right, so with that said, let's get through baseball. All right, now we got Kansas City and Cleveland. I don't have anything to share there. I got nothing. I got junk there. Let me look at that line for you real fast. If anyone cares about that game, here's what we're looking at KC and Cleveland. Obviously, a lot of steam came in on Kansas City. If you compare it to the opener, all right, so a lot of steam on Kansas City. Sharp money on Kansas City. Under, everybody's betting the under. Public, sharps, they're all in the under. I don't like that game at all. I say that's a pass. Kansas City, Cleveland's a pass. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. All right, another game that's pretty much one-sided. Cincinnati and over. That's all you're getting. Cincinnati and over. Now, personally, I lean under in that game. I would have liked 8.5. At 8.5, I probably would have bet it. At 8 with juice, minus 120, 25, I passed. But I do like the under in that Cincinnati game. I do think that's a decent bet. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati under. But again, I look for 8.5. I don't find 8.5. We just say pass. Thank you, Stub Boss brother. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I just keep it real, bro. That's it. I don't just this is myself. That's it. Just fortunately, it's just who I am. I can't. And the funny thing is the dudes that are like, he's so wired, and dude, you had no idea. Oh, I had those days. Trust me. I came here 25 years old, single, and when back then when sex was safe and drugs were good for you. So believe me, I had my party time. But now I'm an older guy. I'm not going out there, doing that shit. But people see that energy and they just think the worst all of a sudden. I'm on yogurt. See all that yogurt? That's what I eat healthy. I sleep good, trying to look out. You got to get a decent life. You want to live long. That's what you can't, that's the one thing you can't bring back. Time. Young guys, please, please, please take advantage of your time. That's the one thing you can't get back. And always, always, always stop looking in the past because you can't change it. That was one of the biggest mistakes I made in my life. Looking back and regretting the past. I wasted so much time, so much stress over shit I couldn't change. So forget it. Leave the past where it is and stop worrying so much about the future. That's coming whether you like it or not. So don't worry about it. Live in the present. And as long as you're living in the present and doing the right things, you'll be prepared for the future. There's nothing the future could do about it. Like you can't change it just like you can't change the past. What the future is going to bring, it's going to bring. But the decisions you make today will determine your future. Like if you're out there like I was, dude, I found myself 35 years old and I was living, spending money at nightclubs, buying clothes, doing all the stupid shit you do when you grow up poor. And all of a sudden you're making money and you want to show off and act like you're rich. Like that's what I did. And I woke up one morning closer to 40 than 30 and realized, holy shit. Like if something goes wrong, what do I do? Like I don't have shitload of money saved up. Like what do I do? You know what I mean? Spend all that time regretting all that shit. And eventually, thank God, got my shit in order. And if you do the right thing over and over and over again, good things happen. Nothing could stop that from happening. If you just make good decisions over and over and over again, your future's predetermined. That's it. It's like the people that are putting away every week and buying $25 in gold or $25 in Tesla or Google or Amazon or, or just the S&P. That's it. Just putting that $25 a week away, $25 a week, $100 a month, depending on what you make, buying some gold or buying some crypto. 5 years from now, you're going to thank yourself. 10 years from now, you're going to thank yourself. It's hard to see it right now because we all want it today. The best quote I ever heard is you can have everything, you just can't have it now. Like you can have it all, but you just can't have it all now. And we're not taught to think that way. We're bred from youth with all the shit we see, all the commercials, especially now with social media. I feel bad for these young kids. I swear, I don't know how it got to be so hard to be young. It's got to be so hard to be young. And I could just imagine myself growing up poor and shit, like how insecure I would feel seeing those lives, all that fake lives. Like, you know what I mean? It's got to be so difficult. It's got to be so hard. So yeah, that's what please smash that like button. Please subscribe to WagerTalk. We're close to some really good numbers. And I would really, really appreciate your guys' support. Again, we don't ask for anything, but just that. Just a second of your time to go down there and smash that like button. I ain't even telling you to share it. That would be great, but I'm not even asking that. Just subscribe and smash that like button. And I love you. Please, that's all I'm asking. God bless you and your families. And that's the other thing. And again, I know you ain't supposed to talk politics or religion, but that's bullshit. I'll talk whatever I want to talk about. You don't like it? You ain't got to sit in the stream. That's how I look at it. When I was young, I was an altar boy. Like a lot of young Italian kids, young Greek kids, we grow up, our families in the church. A lot of us become altar boys. I was an altar boy, okay? At that time, I feared God. I had belief in God. I tried reading the Bible. Back then, they didn't have kids' Bibles and stuff like that. So I tried reading the Bible. I read it. I didn't understand it. You know what I mean? It's all in parables. And I knew the story. You know what I mean? We'd watch Jesus of Nazareth every Easter. That was what was on for a whole week. They'd show like 2 hours a day. Anyway, so I had the faith of a child. You know what I mean? That there's nothing better than that. The faith of a child. It's like if you have a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, you know what I'm talking about. That faith they have that there's a Santa Claus, that there's a tooth fairy. And then you have that faith in that there's a God, that there's God. And then for whatever reason, as you get older, you curse or you do some bad shit. And you're like, damn, God didn't strike me down. And then they're taking God out of everything. Like you can't say it in school. The churches are closed during COVID, but the liquor stores are open. The weed stores are open. And all of a sudden they're trying to convince us that, God didn't make man, man made up God. And as you get older, that's what they try to convince you that, oh, you're that fool that believes in that, oh, gray haired guy in the sky and bullshit. That's the bullshit they sell us. Okay. I could promise you this. And I've always felt empty. Like even though I did well in life compared to where I came from, coming from absolutely nothing and making a good living and career-wise, having a contract with the UFC, which coming from the street I grew up in, that was just not even a thought that would ever happen. Like, I felt good and proud, but I felt still empty. Like, you still feel empty. And I always thought like, I pray that I live long enough that I could revisit my faith again. A little while back, thanks to my girl, who's like grandma's a preacher and all, like, I did that. I revisited my faith. And I promise you, dude, I promise you, whether you believe or not, you don't have to. Just do yourself the favor, because in my 30s, I read every self-help book on the planet, more or less. Every hot New York Times bestseller guru that's going to help you improve your life and limit your anxiety and a happy life and all that shit. Trust me, I read all that shit. Like a Harvard professor said, every one of those self-help books is a footnote to the New Testament. Every single one of them. That's all it is. It's a footnote of the New Testament. So I promise you this. If you ever are seeking answers and ever have, like, feel that emptiness, no matter how good your life may appear to others, but you deep inside are lacking something, do yourself this one favor, whether you're a believer or not. That's your own business. Take the time and just the New Testament. Just read the New Testament. And you will get understanding, grasp so much of about life from that. And ways that if you live your life, it could be a lot easier, a lot less stressful, a lot happier, and a lot more people around you that, all good things. I promise you. Again, I'm not here to preach. I know we're here for sports betting and picks and make some money, but all this shit is temporary. It's all temporary. My father passed away younger than the age I am at today. Like, so I know, having lived through it, how short life actually is. But there's got to be something after, right? Like, why are we here? It doesn't make any sense. You start thinking about that as you get older. And every answer is in that book. I now have that faith of a child again, and I haven't been happier, bro. Have not been happier. I have the worst sleep pattern you could imagine. I'm an insomniac because I have OCD. So I just think things, the same shit over and over and over and over again. The same freaking problem over and over and over again. Since every night, Monday through Friday, because Saturday we watch UFC and stuff, unless we go out and we get home late, we read the Bible, me and my girl. We sit down, I'll read aloud in our bed, drink a cup of tea. I swear to you, I've never slept better. I've never been more calm. I've never been more confident, more like trusting of the future and shit like that. Yeah, Clemson minus 330, minus 3.5. What'd you think was going to happen? My man Ryan, thanks for the update. What did we think was going to happen? We bury Clemson. Clemson's going to do the damage. Connor, I could not agree more, brother. I could not agree more. And I'll tell you, here's something else. I promise you that I even asked this question, and I reached out to Andrew Gombis. A lot of you guys know him. He's one of the guys I respect most. Really good friends. We flew down to Florida, went to his wedding last year with my girl. We made a little vacation out of it. Decent guy, real good guy. Got married this past summer, was with his girl for a while. They just had a beautiful daughter. God bless them. And he had told me like 1.5 years, 2 years ago, like his girl's religious. He got back into the church and he was happy and all that. Well, what I started feeling like, how about the job that I do? Like, am I doing bad because, like, it's gambling? Like, am I enticing people to do something that's going to make their lives stressful or they're going to lose money? And I swear I had like a real problem for a little bit, like where I was trying to figure that part out. I actually called Andrew and said, man, can I talk to you about this and shit? Like, I know what you do. Like, what? And I talked to my girl and told her, ask her grandma and shit. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm doing something that isn't the right path. And Andrew put it the best. And he said, bro, you could be selling cars. You could be selling freaking paper. It doesn't matter. if you're doing it the right way, and deep down in your heart, you could look in the mirror and respect what you're doing, because deep down you really are trying to help people and not open the door and try to manipulate them into doing something negative in their life or manipulating them to get money out of them, then absolutely not. And he said, everything I see that you do is trying to teach people to not make the mistakes you made, and trying to show them if they are going to do it, because they are going to do it, give them a chance to do it correctly and avoid actually those negative things. So I believe that. I really do. And that's why I feel like I'm obligated to do this every week, to have this steam room, not to just be accountable to those that trust me for the information and have to face you, whether I'm winning or losing. Last year, I had the worst year I've had since I started documenting my stuff in 2015. And I had to still come in every week and face those people that trusted me for my opinion and my work. And that was very humbling, but it gave me the opportunity to try to teach from experience. Like, this is part of it. Like, if you're going to do this for the rest of your life and you're even going to use an investment vehicle, you got to understand you're going to have losing days, weeks, months, years. If you're not prepared to handle that, you may be better off doing something else. And not, maybe you're just not built for that. It's like never everyone's built to be a trader. Some are built to be investors. Not everybody's built to be an entrepreneur. Some are built to be employees, and they can make a ton of money doing it. So my goal is honestly to have this for you guys, and so we could talk about anything we want. It's open floor. Now let's get back to picking some winners. Let's get through baseball. Now, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, it's one-sided Tampa Bay money, and that's not surprising. At home, we've seen that line get a little bit of respect as well. It's all one-sided on the over. Public's been betting a lot of overs, but the wise guys got the good number here. They bet over 8, then over 8.5. All the recreational bettors are betting the over 9. Remember, we want to get on the right side of 7, 9, and 11. Those are the most important totals when it comes to betting Major League Baseball. It's kind of like the 3 in the NFL. You know, you want to be on the right side of the 3. You want to be on the right side of the 7. So if you miss the number and now you're going over 9 when you could have went over 8 or 8.5, you're definitely not betting from a position of strength. Thank you, Jen. My man says, Gianni, you've been a blessing to me. Back in 2020, you mentioned ETH, and that was a sign from God. Ever since then, you've been day trading. God bless you, bro. Good for you, man. Honestly, good for you. I pray that you do well with it, man, and that you're able to take care of yourself, your family, your loved ones, all from doing something you obviously enjoy, love, and are passionate about. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with me. Seriously, bro. That's why we do this. That's why I feel deep down that I'm doing. Thank you. Thank you. You just made my day, Jem. You just made my day, brother. All right. Now, Toronto, Baltimore. I like Toronto a lot here. I'm going to tell you the only reason that I have not bet, where'd it go? Hold on. Did that get, okay, that got rained out, postponed. Okay. That's why I'm like, I was waiting. I put a lot for a line. If the line pops up for me to get the alert so I could bet it. No wonder the line hasn't come up. Thank you, Jack. Let's move on, brother. Let's move on. San Fran and the Mets. I think there's a little value on San Fran. The only negative is that this is a team that's now what? 5-0 on the road, 5-1 on the road. It's hard to sustain that. It's very hard to sustain that. That worries me a little bit. The other thing that worries me a little bit is San Francisco's won 75% of their games. And I can promise you, write this down. When the season is over, San Francisco will not have won 55% of their games. They will not have won 55%. So it's tough for me to like San Francisco. I lean that way. I kind of do. But those are the things that are keeping me off. That this team's playing a little bit too hot. Is this another one that's got rained out? No. Okay. Thank God. With the Yankees. Okay. Thank God. And I'll tell you this. I bet the under. I did bet the under. No surprise there. I like San Francisco, like I said, but I can't bet them. I would need plus 150 or better. I'm not going to get that. So I don't even put the alert for it to pop up in case. So I didn't even put it because I would need plus 150 where 4 out of 10 times they win that game is the break even. I think that would be a good bet in this with this pitching matchup with the Yankees. But I do like the under a lot. I do like the under here. This is game 1 of the series. San Francisco is coming off a game where they scored a ton of runs. Remember, they put up 8 runs against Cincinnati. That was at home. And if you look at the 2 games prior, they put up a combined 0 runs. Okay? Yankees. Okay? Last game, they pushed on a 7. Prior to that, 2 straight unders. You have to go back to April 5th to find a game where they scored more than 4 runs. Okay? I like the under there. I like the pitching matchup as well with Robbie Ray and Stroman. Stroman's coming off a game where he let up 4 runs in 4 innings. He's started ice cold. He let up 3 runs in his first start, 4 runs in his second start. Did you know he's a lot better than that? He's a lot better. He will start to progress towards his mean. And his mean's a lot better than giving up 4 runs in 3 innings. So I like the under in Yankees San Francisco. That's a premium play. My subscribers got that for about a 3% play. Washington and the Mets. Washington and the Mets. Something's sticking out right here. In Miami, forgive me, in Miami. I should have the glasses on, okay? Washington and Miami. Here's another bet that I placed, okay? Ooh, let me look at this. I'm liking the under too here. Hold on. Washington. I'm going to pass on the under. I'm going to respect the over money that's moved the line a little bit at my sharp shop. They have moved it up a little bit. I lean under, not enough to bet it. But I did bet Miami. I do like Miami at home. Washington, winless team on the road. Again, don't think that's how they're going to end their season. But Miami, people remember Miami of last year. Okay, this is a much better team than they were last season. When this season's over, you can mark this down as well. They'll win close to 40% of their games. You know, they're at 50% right now. They'll win close to 40. I'll tell you what, Washington's going to be right around the same boat. Washington doesn't win more than 40, 45. No way. Washington ain't winning 45% of their games. They're going to win about 42, 43% of their games. They're going to be fighting with Miami. They'll be within 3 games of each other of who's going to win this division, or who's going to be at the bottom of the division. New York's going to win the division. They're going to fight it out. New York, Atlanta, and the Phillies are going to fight it out till the very end. They're all going to be within 2 percentage points of each other. Who comes out, we'll figure that part out. For Yankees game, under 8 minus 110. I would go under 8 minus 110. I would try to get a 105. If you could get like a little better than 110, it would be a lot better. But yeah, I like that better than laying the 30. Laying 130 to get the 8.5 ain't worth it. Now, if it was, we were talking about the 9, then I would say, if it was 9.5, if you could go under 9.5 at minus 130 compared to 9 at minus 110, I would say then do it. But at 8, I wouldn't do it. Yeah, the Phil's pen is trash, bro. I don't think they win it either. If I had to bet today, I would bet that the Mets end up getting it done. And Atlanta's like 2 games behind. Like, they're that close. But I do think Philly will end up third when all the dust settles. I agree with you. I do agree with you there. But I do have Miami. We laid minus 105 on Miami. Line didn't move with me. Market didn't really respect the move. As you could see, you could still get even better number than I released it at minus 105. I think I bet it at minus 102, but I round off to what it is. But yeah, I really think Miami should be the slight favorite here at home. I do, against Washington. I mean, they played well here. This is where they've played well, right? They've won more than they've lost. Washington's hasn't played well on the road at all. Boston White Sox, okay? Here's a perfect situation, okay? The White Sox are going to finish last in that division. That's a given. I understand that. Minnesota's going to win it. I know Minnesota hasn't started well, but Minnesota will win that division when the dust settles. Detroit's going to be behind them, probably 5 to 10 games behind. So Minnesota will coast to that division. In fact, Minnesota will have the least amount of wins of the AL teams that win their division, but they're going to win their division. So, but I don't think the White Sox are going to be that bad as they are right now, where, what are they? 18, 17% that they've won. So we do expect them to get better. We do expect them to do better, where Boston's going to be the worst team in the AL East. Boston will be the worst team in the AL East. Boston will not be a 500 team when this season's over. Like right now, they're 7-7. They'll be lucky to be, 81-81. They'll probably be more like 79 and 83. They'll probably be a couple games below 500. I do lean White Sox here. The line's dropped a little bit. Some of the value's been extracted. It could have got plus 145. Now you could barely get, 140s on them. If I have to bet this game, I am betting the White Sox at home. I didn't bet it. I didn't, but I do lean White Sox for sure. No opinion really on the total. Now, LA and Houston, I think this one's priced pretty good. It's priced right with Houston and LA. I think the line move reflects LA, but I think that moved a little bit too low. I kind of lean Houston myself. And I know right now as I'm talking, it's moving on odds logic. It's down to like 135 from 140. So it's going opposite, where LA's getting some sharp money right now. So I'm not gonna fade that sharp money because I don't have any conviction in betting Houston. But other than the sharp money on LA, I kind of lean Houston. I do. Detroit, Minnesota, this is a game I love. I bet this game. I bet Minnesota. You look at the Detroit, as I told you, Detroit's going to battle with Minnesota. Okay, the division's going to come down to these two teams. Right now, you have a Detroit team that's 7-5. You have a Minnesota team that's 4-9. Within a month and a half, 2 months from now, that's going to be opposite. Minnesota will be in first place, and Detroit will be behind them. Now we have a Minnesota team at home that's only playing their fourth home game. This is their 14th game of the season, but only their third at home. Their fourth at home, forgive me. They had a 1-2 series against Houston after going to KC and losing 3 of 4. Now they're back home. I would not be surprised if this team sweeps Detroit. I definitely like them tonight in game 1. I like the pitching matchup. I released them as two subscribers. So I like Minnesota there. I really do. I lean under. I do think 8's a little bit too high. I think this one should have probably been 7.5 with the over favored. It's actually opened 7.5 with the over favored. I swear I didn't know. I swear to you. I just saw that now that it opened 7.5 with the over favored. Baseball's my shit. I love handicapping baseball. That's why I always have my plays, what I like from the night before. And then next day as stuff comes in, thank you, YouTube. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. And the only thing I ask, smash that like button for us. Maybe subscribe. WagerTalk, we try to do some good things. They're good people there. They're really good people. I've known Gianni now for 15, when I broke into the industry, as far as this being, social media information, putting it out there, and not just betting for myself. That all started, I knew Gianni back 2007, I think. We're going almost 20 years as friends. And one of those people that were business partners, but I consider him like family, like a close friend. Like Gianni is the guy that I'm not embarrassed to tell him anything. Like not ashamed, never have to front, never. Tony, why did I leave pregame? The truth, I don't like to talk about people that aren't there to defend themselves, because that's weak. But the argument Bell's a piece of shit. Like that's the truth. That's why everybody that was decent left there. Anyone decent left there, because he found out the kind of owner he was. Here, I'm going to just give you one example, and I'll tell you. When I broke into the industry, I didn't know. I thought, and I regret it. Like I was a grown man, so I should have known better. Okay. But I just thought this is how it goes. This is how it goes. Okay. And his explanation to me was this: Ace, the difference between a winning bettor and a losing bettor is 1 out of 20 bets. Meaning, if you go 10-10, the VIG's going to eat you up. You're going to go broke. If you go 11-9, you could make a living for the rest of your life. These people cannot differentiate between one win in every 20. So it doesn't matter. You put out freaking big games, big plays. You put out TV games. My man would call me on Saturday morning to say, Ace, I need a game of the year from you today, because I was their top seller. All right. And he said, Ace, I need a game of the year from you today. We have some bills coming up, this kind of shit. I promise you that shit happened. And again, I was a grown man. I should have known better, but I regret the way I broke into this industry. I really do. It was the wrong thing. Yes, Daniel, I still talk to Philly. Me and PGF, we family. We grew up together back in Philadelphia. I love the guy. I love him. I love his kids. I love his mom. His father, God rest his soul, he passed away. I loved his father. Like that's family. Like we're not blood, but we're as close as you're going to get to blood. So even though we don't work together like anymore, I always the love I have for Steve is like, it'll never go. It'll never change. Like even there's been years in between where we've like fought, argued with each other and haven't been close, but it's never changed the way I feel about him. It's never changed. Like deep down, I've always loved Philly Godfather. And that like when you really care about someone and love somebody, even if you have disagreements and, you know, it's your story, his story, and the truth somewhere in the middle, like that shouldn't go away. And I don't have a bad word to say about the man. Like I love Steve. Like I said, I grew up with him back in Philadelphia, and we lived together. Like we were so close. So I don't have a bad word to say about him. Yeah. Again, I don't like to talk shit, but I don't talk to Fezzik anymore. Again, he gave me a book that stiffed me and I didn't get paid. That's just the truth of it. So, you know, again, I don't like to talk shit about people that aren't there to defend themselves. But what I can promise you is there's a lot of people talk fronting. And I could tell you, I've been here, bro, since 1996. I know who's got what, who's done what. And yeah, there's a lot of people in the industry that aren't what the aura, the facade makes you think. And again, I don't like talking about people that aren't there to defend themselves, because that's weak character. But Minnesota, they are a bet. I like St. Louis too. I like St. Louis against Philly. Why did I not bet that? Let me see. Something kept me off it. Oh, the line move kept me off it. I can't bet it. I can't bet it now. I didn't bet it overnight. I could have got plus 120. Could have got plus 115. Could have got plus 110. Could have got even money. Why am I going to lay minus 105 now? Well, I could get even money still. But what I mean is now I would not be betting from a position of strength. So even if St. Louis won, I wouldn't be getting the best of it. I'm now looking to be the product of good luck. Like I think that's a coin flip game. So if I was getting plus 105, I think that would be the best of it. But I can't get that now. The best I could get is even money, and I'm probably going to have to let that pass. But I am going to put that on my list as a keep an eye on, because I do like St. Louis. But again, something kept me off it. I knew, and it was that significant line move. So let's keep going. Then I'll give you UFC. Don't worry. I gave you UFC, then get you out of here, David. Don't you worry, brother. Yeah, Marco's as solid. I was Marco's best man at his wedding. Marco's as solid as they come. He's as honest of a man as you're going to get. Like, Marco's that guy that if you had a sister, you'd want her to marry him. Like, you know, he's going to treat her well. He's going to be respectful. He's not going to cheat on her. Like, they have a family. He's going to raise the kids. Marco's a decent man. Marco is a decent man. He is a good man. That's what I have to say about Marco. He's a very, very good man. Always has never changed, is the same guy today as he was 25 years ago. He could hit megabucks tomorrow and nothing will change. Marco will be the exact same person. You know what I mean? He's not going to change. And I love that about him. I hope he never changes. Warren Sharp, legit is absolutely. The guy's come up with his own metric in the NFL. And if he didn't tell people about it, he would still be winning from it. Like he taught us about early down conversion rate, right? Is that what it is? The early down conversion rate. He was winning with that stat. But, you know, like everyone else, we all have egos. We need to show how smart we are. I'm not knocking it, because I do the same shit. And when you have, you know, all these bigger networks grilling you for information and talking, you're going to want to know. You're going to want them to know what's going on. And absolutely, Warren's as sharp as they come. He's a long-term winner. He gets respect. Sorry, guys, I don't mean to be rude. That's just my breakfast. It's already almost 2 o'clock here. Forgive me. San Diego, Colorado. San Diego should be a 2-1 favorite. Problem is they're still undefeated at home. Nobody's going to do that forever. And they're also sitting at 10-3. And this is a team that's probably going to win 55% of their games. They're not going to win 75% of their games, which they're almost at right now. They're almost at what? You know what I mean? Close to 80%, 70 plus percent. So I expect a regression. I wouldn't lay 220 with them today. No way. Texas, Seattle. Got to like Seattle as dogs in this spot against Texas, home dogs. And you got to look to the under. The only problem is that number's gone. Like, there's no more sevens, right? You got to lay 20. You got to lay 125. Pinnacle's at 7 minus 22. That's not bad. Most are at 6.5. And at 6.5, all the value's gone. But I do like under. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm not looking at the wrong game. Texas, Seattle. I was just looking at Mets and Oakland. Texas, Seattle. Oh, no. I was looking at the right game. Yeah, at 6.5, there's no value. Can't go under 6.5. Don't want to lay the juice to go under 7. But I do like Seattle. I do like Seattle at home. I think Texas has come out a little bit too hot. And when the season's over, them and Seattle are going to be fighting for first place. You heard it here first. Them and Seattle will be fighting to see who gets first place. That much I'm pretty sure of. So I do like Seattle. Let me look at this pitching matchup. Seattle may be something we add to it. DeGrom's coming in. DeGrom's coming in off of a bad pitching performance. The team won, but he gave up 4 runs. DeGrom's better than that. Yeah, Texas wins that game. Texas wins that game. DeGrom's going to do well. He'll do a lot better. And Miller got ripped up too. Yeah, that looks like a setup for an under. Like two good pitchers coming off arguably their worst performance to date. They've only had 2. So it's like, you know, how bad could it be? They may have a worse one. But that looks like a lot of recency bias. I think Texas and Seattle showing a lot of recency bias. So I have switched that. I like Texas, and I like the under as well. Texas and under. That's the play there. That's the play. I may even bet that a little later. We'll see. I'm just going to put it in there. It's a later game, right? Oh, it's 640. It's 640. We're going to look at that later. Subscribers, don't be surprised if you get some, because I like betting those pitchers, good pitchers coming off bad outings. That's gold. That to me is gold all day, all day. Mets and Athletics. I did like the Athletics at home. You know me, I'm not afraid to bet these ugly dogs. I'm not afraid. I like Oakland at home. Another situation where the line moved a little bit too much from the opener. Like if you could have got plus 120, it's now plus 113. I should have bet that early. I do like Oakland. I like the under too. I do like the under, but the market's telling me, Jace, you're way off. It opened 9 with the over favor, went to 9.5, now to 10. I'm not going to fight the market. My opinion, I'll respect it, but I'll respect the efficient market even more. I believe in the market hypothesis, right? The efficient market hypothesis that market is eventually right, and more than not. So when it goes from 9, 9.5, 10, and I like the under, I'm not going to bet it. Unless I have so much conviction that they're now just giving me a better number. And I don't. So I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm going to leave that alone. And finally, Cubs and the Dodgers. I don't like the game. I think it's probably priced around where it should be. Dodgers may be a little bit overvalued, a tiny bit. But they're hot right now. They're playing good at home. One more play that I'm looking at right now. Let me look at it. Hold on. I can't pull the trigger yet. Let me see. I'll give it to you. It's another 640 game. It's Colorado, and San Diego. I like the under. Colorado, San Diego, I do like under. So I like under Colorado, San Diego, under Texas and Seattle and Texas. But I haven't bet those. I did bet Miami. I did bet Minnesota. I did bet under in San Francisco and the Yankees. What else? Let's go over MMA really quick, and then I'll get you guys out of here. I do like a PFL bet tonight. Compliments of Andrew Gambis. My boy, I don't think he's going to mind that I'm sharing this. I lean that side as well. And we bet it. I got down at even money on Mateus Matos, Matos. I got down at even money on Matos. I do like that bet. I gave it out to subscribers. And there's two other fights I like on that. Both of them are favored. I didn't release them because the price is a little bit too high. I like Jana Bishop, Bishop, against Watanabe. I like her at about minus 180, minus 185. And then I like Diana Avsaragova. She's about minus 140, 145. She's a real attractive girl. I think she's got one loss. She's fighting an undefeated girl, but very weak strength of schedule. I think they're going to be hyping Diana up. I think Diana's going to get a couple easy W's in the PFL. Then she's going to come over to the UFC because she's one of those girls that'll be marketable. Russian, attractive, and should be able to win this fight tonight. So I like Matos over Jake Hadley, Matos over Jake. I like Gina Bishop over Watanabe, and I like Avsaragova over Dana, the Elora, whatever her name is. She calls herself something Negra. I don't even remember. Now I'm going to give you real quick UFC. I'm going to go through every fight. I can't give you the premiums because that's up for sale at WagerTalk. It's respect to the people that bought it. So I can't tell you what the 5% is. Good job, Johnny. I'll cheer you in, brother. I'll cheer you in on the Cubs. But I'll go through it and I'll tell you what I like on pretty much every fight. Follow, fade, or ignore. Again, I hope you guys do damage tomorrow. Start off at the bottom, win and bantamweight. Nora, let me pull this up. Hold on. I might as well give you guys some gold. All right. We got Nora, the Cornell against Haley Cowan. Now, Cowan won her Contender Series fight, and she lost her debut, but she was a dog in her debut against Jamie Lynn Horth. She was a plus 140, so she wasn't supposed to win that fight. She lost it, and now she's getting more plus money than she should be. If you look at Cornell, she's off her first UFC loss. They expect her to bounce back. I wouldn't be too sure. I would not be too sure. She's 2-0 as a favorite, but she closes an average of a minus 200. So she won fights she was supposed to. This one's a lot tougher for her. I don't like the favorite there. Tulio against Tracy on Gore. I'm surprised Gore's this big of a dog. That's what stuck out to me. Now, the reason for that is Gore's got 2 wins in the UFC, but they're against opponents that are combined 0-2. So he hasn't beaten anybody, and this is a step up against Tulio. Remember Tulio? He had the win in the Contender Series in 2023. He won in the Contender Series in 2024. Finally got the contract, then won his UFC debut. But he was a huge favorite in his debut against Ihor Pretoria. I think closed out minus 550. So it was a fight he was supposed to win. I think he wins this one. I think he gets by Tracy and Gore, but I don't think the price is worth it. Raposo and Sumadarji. A lot of steam on Raposo. I think any value on Raposo is gone. Remember, he lost in the Contender Series in 2021. He won a couple fights in smaller promotions, then came back. They gave him a shot at the UFC. He closed as a plus 250 dog against Andre Lima, and he lost a split decision. So Raposo obviously was live in this fight. That's why he got a lot of steam early. But I think that the value's been extracted. Where the price sits right now, where Sumadarji's at, I think it's Sumadarji or pass. He's done okay as a favorite. He's won 2 of 3. I know he's lost 3 straight, but those were fights he really wasn't supposed to win. He's going to have an 8-inch reach advantage in this fight. I lean favorite now. I like the dog early. If you have the dog ticket in your pocket at an earlier price, great bet. Right now, not so much. Oleksiejczuk and Dumas, I like Oleksiejczuk here. Too much power on the feet. And when I look at Dumas, his 3 UFC wins come against opponents that are combined 4-8. Hasn't beat anybody. So I definitely think this is a win for Oleksiejczyk, and you're getting him at a discount because he lost 3 straight and he's 1-4 his last 5. But much tougher level of competition. Elkins and Erosa. Erosa gets it win. You got the stance edge, Southpaw versus Orthodox. You got a 5-year age advantage. You got Erosa, who's now won 2 straight, 5-2 his last 7, coming in with some momentum. I think Erosa's the right side. Miller and Hooper. Hooper's coming into his zone, but the price is too high. He's now won 4 straight. He's going to have a 16-year age advantage, 3-inch reach advantage, and he's been finishing people at lightweight. In fact, 3 of his 4 fights have finished. So I like Hooper, just can't pay the price. I think Miller's going to get some love because he's a fan favorite. Jandiroba and Xiaonan. Xiaonan had the tougher strength of schedule. She's been tested. She's been in there with Zhang Weili. So obviously, you know she could bring it, and she continues to improve. But you can't fade Jandiroba. If Jandiroba is able to take her down, the fight's over. If Xiaonan can keep it standing, Jandiroba may be in trouble, even though her stand-up is improving. I like Jandiroba here. She's undefeated as a favorite. She's 5-0, but I can't bet her. I don't think the price is warranted against Xiaonan, who continues to improve. Sean Woodson, I like him in his fight against Ige. Ige's guy's going to fight for your money. He's lost 2 straight. He's 1-3 his last 4. He's 2-7 as an underdog. He's a fan favorite. Really tough strength of schedule. This is a huge step up for Sean Woodson, but I think it's when he passes. He's going to have a 7-inch reach advantage here, and he's only been a dog once. This is a guy who's 6-1-1 as a favorite, so he's got the job done when he's expected. He's expected to get the job done now. I lean Woodson. Reyes and Krylov. Krylov's a name that people forgot because he hasn't fought in 2 years. Prior to not fighting, he had won 3 straight, okay? And against good competition. His UFC opponents had won 64% of their fights. His losses come against guys that are combined 35-15-1. So they've won 68%. He loses to the elite. I think Krylov gets it done. I think he probably gets it done inside the distance. Bottom line here, Reyes, he's looked good of late, and you're paying for it. He beat guys he was supposed to. He's coming off an Anthony Smith win. He's won 2 straight. I don't think Reyes gets it done here. But the thing is, if Krylov wrestles him, he makes it an easy night, and that's why it may go over the 1.5. Otherwise, it'll be fireworks, and I think Krylov's got the power as well. Bryce Mitchell, Silva, I think the value's on the dog. Bryce Mitchell, we saw what happened last week. I faded, what's it called? The Fighting Nerd. I know you're not supposed to fade the Fighting Nerds, but I did so last week when I took Sabatini over Brito, gave Sabatini out to subscribers. Same setup. If Bryce is able to wrestle him, he beats him. If he's able to take Silva down and control him, he beats him. Otherwise, Silva knocks out Mitchell. At this price, I think you're getting some value on the Mitchell side. Pitbull and Yair Rodriguez. I don't know. Rodriguez has done really well as a favorite. He's 8-1 with 1 no contest. So he wins fights he's supposed to. He's a good hammer, not a good nail. And I think in this fight, he's not favored by accident. I don't know what I'm getting out of Pitbull. I know Yair's got a 4-inch reach advantage. I know he's 5 years younger. Now, this is a big motivation for Pitbull. You're coming to the UFC. People are going to think, oh, you're a Bellator guy, so he's got a chip on his shoulder. That's the reason I could see why some sharps are taking Pitbull in this fight, because they think, if you're ever going to get a good Pitbull, good camp, ready to fight, it's going to be here where he wants to prove himself. But it's going to be tough going against Yair, who's a lot younger. He's going to have a reach advantage as well. Chandler and Pimblett, I like Pimblett. I know everybody says he's overrated. He's been thrown easy fights. Listen, the guy gets it done. He's rewarded me every time at the window. He's 9 years younger. Those fighters win 2 out of 3 times long term. Chandler's got 1 win in the last 4+ years, right? Since 2021, he's got 1 win. It's against Tony Ferguson. Everybody talks about how he knocked out Dan Hooker. Go look at the where he knocked out Hooker. He knocked him out after Hooker lost to Poirier. And I know Hooker's on a 3-fight win streak, but look at the names that he's beaten. Puelis, Jalen Turner, who's not even in the UFC anymore. I like Paddy Pimblett. I could be wrong, and Chandler could spark him with that power, but Pimblett's got a chin. Hasn't been knocked out in his career. I think if Paddy takes his back, it's over. And I think in the stand-up, Paddy's elusive enough to not turn it into a brawl. If you don't turn it into a brawl, Paddy wins this fight. Lopez and Volkanovski, too much too soon for Lopez. Now, a guy I respect that I do the podcast and show with Nick, he likes Lopez. He thinks, that Volkanovski may be shot coming off 2, finishes. Could be. You know what I mean? What's he now? 36, 37, 38 years old? The best may be behind him. But I can't overlook the fact that he was favored. He closed the favorite against Ilia Topuria, who is arguably the top 2, MMA fighters on the planet. And he lost to Makhachev, who's arguably the top 1 or 2 on the planet. Him and Topuria, right? I don't think that Lopez beats either of those guys. I don't think Lopez beats Topuria, and I know he doesn't beat Makhachev. So those are respectable losses. Volk has a chip on his shoulder. He's 10-1 as a favorite. Level of competition isn't even close. The difference is the youth for Lopez and early on. I think if you're not going to bet this when it starts, if it gets to the second round, you live bet Volkanovski. I think Lopez has about 5 minutes to get him out of there, maybe 7.5. After 7.5 minutes, it's Volk's fight. I think Volk, if he makes it ugly, doesn't give Lopez the kind of fight he wants, mixes in his grappling, his wrestling with his striking, I think he's able to get Lopez and get his title back. I think he's able to beat Lopez. Again, I don't think Lopez has been tested like he's going to be tested against Volkanovski, and I don't think Volkanovski is going to see anything he hasn't seen before from Lopez. Thing is that chin still there? Because if Lopez touches it, he's done. He's out. Like if Lopez lands flush on anyone, he's knocking you out. That's the problem I have with Volk. But when you look at line value, again, I would like this line to have moved up because it was about 150, 155 when I taped the show at the UFC. Now he's minus 120. So obviously a lot of respect on the Lopez side. I disagree. I think Volk gets the W. Again, I think if this was pre him losing to Topuria, he'd be a much bigger favorite. And had he not gone up the lightweight to challenge Makhachev, he'd be a minus 250 in this fight. Let's be honest. So I think you're getting Volk at a discount. If he's got anything left, I think it's the right side. That's going to do it. I'll check one more time to see, is there anything new that we could fire on before I let you guys out of here? And again, I thank you for your time. Thank you for hanging out with me. I love you guys. We got over 1,100 people in here live. You guys are awesome. Please, please, please smash that like button. And for that, I'm going to give you more college baseball, okay? Just because you're in here, I'm going to give you college baseball. All right, here you go, college baseball. Get your college baseball line up. Go to Western Carolina and East Tennessee. Western Carolina, East Tennessee. I got to pull it up. Jesus. How far down on the list are they? All right, we're going Western Carolina, East Tennessee, under 13.5, under 13.5, good to minus 130. Good to minus 130, Western Carolina and Tennessee State. I think that one's just starting right now. Sorry, that one's just starting right now. But one that's starting in an hour is Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky and Liberty. Forgive me, man. We missed the Western Carolina one. If you could still get it in, get it in. Under 13.5, good to minus 130. But we have Western Kentucky and Liberty. Western Kentucky and Liberty. And let's go under there. Let's go under 13.5, 12.5, under 12.5. Good to minus 135. Or if you're going under 12, try to get minus 110 if you're going under 12. That's Western Kentucky versus Liberty. That's going to do it for today's action. Remember, cheering Cleveland. We didn't get the NHL, man. Just didn't have time. We're going to be back next Saturday or probably next Friday. I like doing it Friday when there's a UFC card Saturday and there's a lot going on. So I love you guys. I, whether you follow or fade, you should disagree with me because I'm never going to be 100%. So if you disagree with me and you have conviction, please follow through with what you like. Please follow through with what you like. Thank you, Jack, Michael, Mark, all you guys. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I hope tonight does well. Please don't judge on tonight's results. There's a lot of randomness. I could go 5-0 and it doesn't mean shit, or I could go 0-5 and it probably shouldn't mean shit either. In one day, 1 week, 1 month, anybody could win or lose. So I never want you to be more confident and over bet the edge that we have. Be selective, bet size correctly. You'll do just fine. You're not in here by accident. You guys are sharp. I love you. God bless you. God bless your families. Have a good weekend. I hope when the dust settles, you guys do damage. And more importantly, I hope you got something out of these last 2 hours because you guys made my day, man. So I appreciate you all. And again, have a great, 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 great Friday night. Be safe. Be safe if you're going out this weekend. And hope to see you guys again next week. Check out WagerTalk.com. Got a lot of good stuff over there. And follow me at Greek_Gambler. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you. Thank you, brother. You guys have a good one.